Hi, I'm Chandler Garcia. As a PICU nurse and global health advocate, I've cared for women and children all over the world, from Costa Rica to Egypt to Kenya and beyond. And no matter where I go or how tough the conditions get, I always wear my figs. These scrubs are lightweight, breathable, and super soft, perfect for long shifts in any environment. They've got pockets in all the right places, the fit is flexible, and they're durable through every admission, surgery, and post-op. But it's not just about the scrubs. Another big part of what I love about Figs is when they say they're committed to supporting healthcare workers all over the world, they mean it. I recently joined them on an impact trip to India where I worked in triage, caring for babies in a mobile clinic. My Figs aren't just what I wear. They're part of the impact I want to make. Wherever my work takes me, Figs helps me show up ready to make a difference while looking and feeling my best. Get 15% off your first order at wearfigs.com with code FIGSRX. That's wearfigs.com, code FIGSRX.
You know you've reached peak couple energy when your undies match. Me Undies Match Me has you both covered, literally, in super soft ultra-modal undies, socks, PJs, and loungewear. Festive prints? Check. Cozy vibes? Double check. And right now, it's deal season. Get up to 50% off site-wide for Black Friday and Cyber Monday. Take your couple game to the next level with Me Undies Match Me. To get deals up to 50% off, go to MeUndies.com/comfort, promo code COMFORT. That's MeUndies.com/comfort, code COMFORT.
You have big dreams of losing weight and creating a healthy, joyful life. But you find yourself craving sugar, caught up in what the scale says, and diet hopping. Dieting is the old way of losing weight. And the good news is I'm going to give you a new way of eating so you can ditch diets for good and build a healthy relationship with real food. My name is Megan Olson, certified nutrition practitioner, creator of Skinny Fitalicious, and your host of the Dish on Diets show. Feeling really grateful that I started this process. There's so much about this that has been common sense, but I needed it presented to me in a different way for it to really click. That was from my 49-year-old client who is now down 18 inches, and she has been struggling with her weight for years. She's got some physical things going on with her knees and her joints and arthritis, which has made her activity a little bit tough over the years. But she really didn't have some of the habits or understanding of some of the things that she needed to be doing. She was always just kind of approaching weight loss by cutting things out, and she wasn't getting anywhere and spinning her wheels. And now she is very clear on what are the things she needs to do. She's embraced her habits and she's feeling so amazing. Another client said to me, I wanted to wish you a very happy Thanksgiving and to tell you that I'm so thankful for you. In the time that we've been working together, I've already seen some major changes and improvements, and I'm excited to see where things go from here. I have you to thank for that. Before, I just kept repeating the same circles over and over again. You have guided me and brought me in a different direction that I can already tell is changing my life for the better. I know I'm still in the early stages, but I'm actually really excited and feel like things are actually possible. I had a hard time feeling that way before. I'd have little glimpses, but I always felt so lost doing this on my own. I can't thank you enough for your guidance and the new perspectives that you have been giving me. You are excellent at what you do. Thank you so much. That was from another client, 48-year-old client who's been working with me the last few months on her habits, her mindset, her relationship with food. She had done Weight Watchers repeatedly in the past and was constantly starving. And when she began coaching, what we figured out was she had been trying to eat 1,400 calories because that number was equivalent to the points that Weight Watchers gave her. She began working with me. And after we worked on her habits, her mindset, her relationship with food for several months, we started working on her fat loss goals. She is now losing fat at 2,400 calories because her maintenance is 2,900 calories. So that means Weight Watchers had my client trying to eat in a 1,500 calorie deficit. And that is a good segue into our discussion today, ladies, because I feel like it's so important. for you to see what's possible for you. It's important for you to understand you don't have to struggle. You don't have to be confused, frustrated, and all those things. All those things are voluntary. And I mean that wholeheartedly. I truly believe if you are struggling with your health, your relationship with food, building muscle, building habits, losing fat, if you're struggling with those things, that's a voluntary thing. You have the option to change that and to change your life, just like my clients have. And I want you to see what it's like when you feel confident, healthy, strong, and fit, and know that you're headed in the right direction. And as somebody who used to be 215 pounds, I think why most women choose not to change their situation and get the help from a coach is because they still think diet means restriction. So you're scared to work with a coach or a nutritionist like me because in your mind, that means you're going on a diet. Time to restrict, time to cut things out, time to be perfect. And you've done all of that before and you've failed and you don't want to fail because feeling like you failed feels awful. So you do nothing. I get it. No shame. But as somebody who was formerly 215 pounds, I lost 80 pounds in 2009. I can confidently tell you that's not how any of this works. So if your brain immediately thinks restriction when you think I'm going to sign up with a coach and work on my nutrition, exercise, and health, I'm going to tell you that's not how any of this works. But that's sure what I thought when I was 215 pounds. So no shame if that's how you think currently. I guarantee the way that you have always approached losing weight before is through restrictive dieting. And just like the client I just mentioned, who was doing Weight Watchers and trying to eat in a 1,500 calorie deficit, but couldn't be compliant with that steep of a calorie deficit. And here she was thinking it was her. She was broken. She was a failure. There was nothing wrong with her. She had a really bad plan. Or another client I worked with this year who was doing Optavia before coaching and her weight wasn't budging and she was starving. She did Optavia for a while and they told her not to exercise. And for her, that was a red flag. She's like, I'm trying to get healthier. Why are they telling me not to exercise? So she got off Optavia, started counting her calories, and she was trying to eat 1,400 calories. Her maintenance was really 2,400 calories. So she was trying to eat in 1,000 calorie deficit. No wonder her weight wouldn't budge. She couldn't be compliant with that level of hunger. So in coaching, we pulled her calories up to 1,900 calories and she lost weight beautifully because she was in a reasonable deficit that's manageable, not an insane calorie deficit that Optavia had taught her. Or another client of mine this year who's lost 50 pounds eating fast food daily. But before coaching, she struggled to lose weight because she always thought she had to cut out all these different foods and be perfect. Then she would beat herself up for not being perfect and just give up and throw in the towel. And it was this constant cycle. As her coach, I didn't cut out her fast food. I simply helped her find more protein in her fast food. And we worked meal by meal, gradually over time. And after she kind of got the protein bit down, we worked on her fiber. And then she started working on her steps. And then months later, she began eating more foods at home. And today she's like starting to branch out and look at other foods she can make at home. And she did all of this other progressive stuff on her own without me telling her, hey, you should do this. It was just a natural progression of her building these new skills and habits and seeing she didn't need to be perfect. She's lost 50 pounds eating fast food almost every day. You see, the whole reason we go on a weight loss journey is to improve our health, get stronger, get fitter, right? Then why, if the goal is to improve our health, why do we think it makes sense to go on a diet where we are cutting things out that we enjoy and eating in starvation level calorie deficits? How does that make sense? How does that make sense that you should eat in such an extreme way to get healthier? When I was 215 pounds, I thought this was normal. It's not normal though. HCG diet. You're eating 500 to 800 calories. That's another diet where they tell you not to exercise. Optavia, 800 calories, 1,000 calories, 1,200 calories. They too tell you not to exercise. Weight Watchers, well known for putting women on very, very low points, which typically equate to 1,000 calorie deficits or 1,200 calorie deficits. Why do we think that is how we improve our health, get stronger and fitter, and age well? Why do we think that makes sense? Why do we think in January it makes sense to do Whole30? An extremely strict, restrictive diet that cuts out a ton of foods, some foods that are incredibly health promoting, you're cutting out. Why do we think doing Whole30 for 30 days is the way to improve our longevity and our long-term health, get stronger, fitter, age well? If you are just now waking up and realizing how strange it is that we think it's normal to improve our health by doing these things, no shame, because again, that used to be me too when I was 215 pounds. And what I am here to say to you today is that way too often, the underlying issue of all of this is that we lose sight of the bigger picture when we want to lose weight. Because it's more fun to think, I'll just do Whole30 for a month and I won't have to do anything after that. Or if I drop my calories really low, extremely low, it's more exciting because I'm going to be losing weight faster. I'll get this over with faster. The restrictive nonsense diets seem more exciting to our brains and enticing than being like, what daily habits should I be working on to improve my health? What should I be doing on a weekly basis with my total calorie needs? What should I be doing on a weekly basis for my energy needs? How much fiber and protein should I get every day? How can I get more movement in my day? How can I be more proactive with meal prepping a few things? Those questions are not exciting at all. They are very boring. It's way more exciting to say, do all of these restrictive diets. And it conjures up more of an emotional reaction than saying, understand your energy requirements, understand how much protein and fiber your body needs, and understand how many steps you should be aiming for. The bottom line is we lose sight of that bigger picture, that going on a weight loss journey is about health, aging well, getting stronger, getting fitter, staying strong and fit as we age, not just getting skinny or a number on the scale. And what I consistently come back to is there are these massive big rocks, right? Boring basics, big rocks of health that nobody wants to talk about because it's too boring and too repetitive. Sometimes even me, I'll go to write an email to you guys or record a video for social media or record a podcast for you guys. And I think, am I really going to say this boring habit stuff again? Like, is anybody even listening? Are you guys even there? Are you even watching this? Are you going to listen for like the 100th time? Me saying the same things over and over again? Like, I always think maybe I would have a lot more email subscribers and clients if I just lied to people and made more sensationalized content. But that goes against every moral fiber in my body. But I do think those things, and a lot of people, even medical professionals, they're doing that. They're creating sensationalized content to grab your attention, to make it seem enticing and exciting. And they've got millions of email subscribers, millions of people buying whatever junk they're selling because it's too boring to talk about, hey, let's change our habits and work on the boring basics that actually do improve your health. Just like when I was 215 pounds, I always thought it was a good idea to jump on the restrictive diet train every January because I was bloated, I felt gross, I didn't like the way I felt. And that is likely where you are right now or very soon to be at the end of the month. And I want you to achieve what my clients are achieving. You don't realize it, but you could be feeling so much better right now. More peace with food, getting stronger, more energy, getting leaner and fitter, and showing up as an upgraded version of you. You don't realize when you're in it how much better your life can be. My client who is 73, was crying on our last phone call. She said to me, I can't believe the things I'm now doing at my age. I have so much more peace with food, energy. I'm more intentional about my choices, and it's all thanks to you, Megan. She signed up for coaching last December, and she was in a very bad place with food and feeling terrible about every food choice she was making. She was in the struggle, and she was reflecting in our call on how far she's come 1 year later. She is no longer in that miserable place. And you don't have to be in that miserable place either. You don't have to be in that struggle. You can get the help that you need, just like these clients did. Will it take time? Yes, but that doesn't matter. You have struggled likely for 20, 30, maybe even 40 years of your life with this stuff. If you spend 1 year or even 2 years working on this and you're making consistent small progress towards your goal over that time frame, that is a drop in the bucket compared to the 20, 30, 40 years of your life that you have been on this struggle bus. Anyone who tells you it takes less time than that, they're lying to you and putting you on a restrictive diet. So as you step into January, don't lose sight of what a weight loss journey is all about. I know it will be tempting for you to lose sight of this, but I want you to keep coming back to this podcast episode. You go on a weight loss journey to improve your health, get stronger, age well, get fitter, be independent so you're not in a nursing home when you're older. Many of us are in the situation where we see our parents in that direction. I saw that with my dad, right? He passed away 2 years ago from Alzheimer's. It was terrible. And I wouldn't wish that on anybody. And I definitely do not want that for myself. It's not easy taking care of yourself every single day, but it's going to be harder later on in life if we don't do it now. You have to remind yourself when you start coming into January and your brain wants to go on those tempting restrictive diets or do Weight Watchers for like the 20th time, you have to remind yourself this is about your health, getting stronger, aging well, getting fitter, improving your mental well-being around food, your habits, your mindset. It will be so tempting to repeat the pattern of restrictive dieting and go on yet another restrictive diet. But remember, this is not what this is about. Ask yourself, is this helping me or hurting me? Is it helping me or is it hurting me? And is it preventing me from seeing the bigger picture? What this is really all about, why you go on a weight loss journey in the first place. And if you do want to get to a place where you can live your life and be free and be healthy and be fit and have the body that you want and the freedom that you want and have the life that you want and the mindset that you want, I can do all of that for you. One of my clients just messaged me Monday this week and said, I bundled up and I was outside walking in 20-degree weather and I almost didn't even recognize myself because I have changed so much from how I used to be. That could be you. And I know you don't believe it can be you, but trust me, I see it every day with clients. It happened for me. It can happen for you. You just need to remember that those restrictive diets are not how we get healthy. It's not healthy to be in an extreme calorie deficit like that with extreme hunger. And the unfortunate part is a lot of women will continue repeating that pattern and they do it every January and then multiple times a year. And then they think their body is broken. They think something is wrong with them when really those diets are setting you up for failure. And even though you get fast results, it's never sustainable. You can't sustain it long enough because, right, you're in an extreme restrictive diet. Yeah, you get results really fast, but they don't stay. And if you want results that stay, you have to realize that this cycle, this pattern is really keeping you stuck. So if you want to get to a place where you can live your life and be free and be healthy and fit and have the body that you want and the freedom that you want and have the life that you want and the mindset that you want, I can do all of that for you. I can help you. You just have to go to the link in the show notes and sign up. And speaking of that, I am trialing something new with my coaching in January of 2026. In the past, I required a 6-month commitment. And for this January, I'm just going to trial this in January, a new monthly plan. So you do get a discount if you still make the 6-month commitment. So that remains the same. But I understand there's many women out there who have been by, other coaches, other programs, other diets. So this allows you to get your feet wet and get started with me without making that big 6-month commitment, which can feel really big and scary. And I'm testing this out, so I can't guarantee that it's going to stick around longer than January. I'm going to test it out in January. So if you are like, yes, I'm ready to get started, I want to start in January, there's a link in the show notes, and you pay for the month, and I'll start working with you in January. And you also have the option to still schedule a consultation with me. So if you're more comfortable doing that, to ask some questions and figure out if this is a good fit for you, the consultation link is in the show notes as well. And I hope to see you soon.
Hey, if you enjoyed this podcast, you have to come check out my free weight loss class. It's the 5 steps to lasting weight loss, how hormones impact weight loss, and the truth about lasting weight loss without relying on willpower, workouts, or deprivation. Click the link in the show notes to watch that free class today. And if you are a woman over 35 with 20 to 50 or more pounds to lose, schedule a free weight loss breakthrough session with me after you watch that class, and let's talk about your 20 to 50 or more pound weight loss plan.